Welcome. Sorry, it's a little dim. Welcome to NWA Power, I believe episode 33, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very interesting show. We got two women's matches. Now, I do have my thoughts at the end of this review, if I don't forget, because I have a tendency to forget. I'm an old ass man. I have no brains in this head. Yeah. I got brains in my head. But this is what we got today. Now, opening. We got Genocide with Terrence Hill by her side versus Killer Frost. Now, you guys tell me, doesn't Killer Frost remind you of Ruby Riott? Now, she's not Ruby Riott. As far as I can tell, she got a lot of tats like Ruby Riott. But she's not Ruby Riott, as far as I can tell. She's not. Ruby Riott should still be under a no-compete clause for 90 days. So, maybe in September or October, she should be free to wrestle anywhere she wants. Unless that no-compete clause is not there. And it is, as far as I know. But she reminds me of Ruby Riott. Now, that's an interesting thing. I'm wondering if Ruby Riott would consider going to the NWA. Yes, it's a very small breathe. Yes, it's a small promotion. In its condition right now, you got WWE. You got AEW. You got Impact Wrestling. You got OH. You got, on the other side of the pond, you got New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is here. You got AAA that's here. And then you got NWA. With no disrespect intended, NWA does not have a market share. It is very weak right now. And until it can really get somewhere, it's going to be here compared to WWE or AEW or even Impact for that matter. That's where they are. Period. That is just where they are. So if she went there, she would be able to understand that she ain't going to have no huge amount of money. There isn't going to be no huge amount of reach. But there would be very good wrestling. You would be able to tell how you feel in your promos. And it's not heavily scripted. And there's Mickie James. She will be there and she will make it mean something, to make it interesting. That's what I'm thinking for Ruby Riott. But that's just me. In the end, Genocide win. I wasn't surprised. Now, we got Sal David. This, I didn't see NWA High Power. High Voltage. I didn't see it. And supposedly, Sal Rinauro Sal won. And I kind of wish this was done on Power, not on High Voltage. Because I didn't even know they even had a High Voltage bit. Unless it's now on YouTube. As far as I know, it's not there. And I kind of wish it was, because then we could see that and get all the bits we don't normally see from Power. But this is what you got. He was so happy he's going after the television title. Against the Pope. Against the wheeling and dealing baby. But he got his ass cleaned by a Kobe. What was the guy's name again? I always forget his name. Kobe Carano. There you go. Carano. A second generation star, if I remember correctly. And this is the first time you finally hear Mae Valentine get animated. In other words, she finally shows personality, feeling for something. Because when you see her interviewing, it's dead. And I'm not against her. I said it before. She's a beautiful woman. She seems to be very sweet. But when she does her interviews, there's no emotion. There's nothing there. There is a difference between showing just enough emotion to mean that you're there and show nothing and you're like an inanimate object. And that's what she gives off. Until this moment when she showed her personality, how her friend got beaten up and she's screaming, "What do you think you're doing?" Got animated, hitting the mat, calling for security. And yeah, Kobe was screwing with her. But here's the thing that made the entire thing bad. Even though it was good for Sal to have a feud now with Kobe Carano. Yeah, I believe I got the shot and you can see it in my face. He looked like he was going to try and suplex him onto the ring skirt. But instead what he did, he partially slingshotted him off the top turnbuckle. Well, not top turnbuckle. Top turn rope. And they both fell forward Well, Sal went straight down near his head. Yes, Kobe was holding his neck. So when he got, hang on, let me put you this. This is Sal's legs. He got hit off the top rope like this. And as he was falling forward, Kobe managed to swing him like this enough that he did not land on his neck. That showed total inexperience of a high flyer who knows how to do any work in the damn ring. If they tried to do this was incredibly stupid. If it's done on mats, it's dangerous as hell. It's still dangerous. You can still fall straight on your head. But in this situation, there's no mats, solid marble floors, shiny ass marble floors. No, I don't condone this. This was a stupid spot. If this was planned, it was beyond stupid. Not because it looked real. Because it could have easily been real. Because there are no mats in NWA. There's no mats compared to Impact, ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling. Doesn't make a difference that mats are this thick, like in WWE, or this thin. It makes no difference. There's usually something there. There's nothing there. No give. If this had gone wrong and he'd landed straight on his head, he'd be dead. Or he would be permanently paralyzed. You see how angry I am? He could have been paralyzed. This was a stupid spot. If that's what they planned it to be, just like I showed you. No. Now, we had Tyrus and Austin Idol. Where is Black G's? Where is he? They're talking about dealing with the Pope again, when the Pope's own opponent had just been taken out by Kobe Carano. Instead of the Pope being focused on that, because he's a face, he runs out to deal with a Tyrus and Austin Idol. When they said, we're tired of this, we're going to war, he jumps into the ring and said, let's go, let's start this, I'll give you your shot. And then Idol says no. I don't agree with it. Why didn't Tyrus take out Sal Renaro? Why didn't he take him out instead of Kobe? Let's think about this for a minute. Yes, Kobe makes sense. But if they want the damn titles to go after Pope, wouldn't it have been better to go after Sal, and then after that, Kobe would make it worse? Or the opposite. Kobe did what he did, then they came out and laughed at him. And then the Pope would come out after that. Make it all condensed in one segment, because in actuality, it shouldn't have been two. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with it. It should have been one whole segment. Kobe takes him out. Pope comes out. Then you could have easily Tyrus mess with him. And then they say, this is war, no one is safe. There you go. Now, the War Kings. I'm getting this done now. What are we getting next week? Because the interview they had, talking about Slice Boogie, because it's all about Slice Boogie. You got Jax trying to say that Slice Boogie's a good kid, but he didn't need to go that far, and that's Crimson. And then Crimson saying he deserved to get that because he went that far. This doesn't feel right. I'm confused. Because we were supposed to have Kratos and Aaron Stevens. Then we got Jax. And then we have Crimson. And now they're going to try and go in the ring and settle it next week in a talk or maybe a match. My guess is a talk. Or at the interview booth with the booth with Kyle Davis. I guess that's where they're going to go with this. I don't know. Now, the funniest damn thing that was in this show. 6-man tag. Oh my gosh. There was one funny spot there that made my ass laugh beyond stink. Now, because of what happened to Saul, you got Aaron Stevens and Kratos saying to management, look, because he's down, he can't wrestle. It's not possible for him to wrestle. While we have a 6-man tag, let's bring some people in. We'll go with them. Let's do it. So fine. So on each side, You got Aaron Stevens and Kratos. Then you got the Hawk brothers. Well, Hawk's father and son. And then you have Mims and you got Captain Uma. Yuma. That was the funniest thing. You got Aaron Stevens and Kratos in one corner by themselves. When the match started, they just came together in a separate corner and they just talking to each other. Because it's not like they wanted to have the match. They thought, let's bring everyone together, 6-man tag. We'll both kind of be like the captains of them, and let everyone else just do it. And then the others tried to involve them, which is understandable. I think the Hawk father, I can't remember his name, managed, because Mims tagged him in, he went and did a little bit of work. Then, when Captain Yuma went to the ring and the son came in, he said, no, I faced you already. I want Kratos. And Kratos looks at him like, what? And then the son tags him on the shoulder and he goes, really? He gets called out. He comes into the ring. Yuma is right there and says, come on. Takes off his goggles. And then he gets shoved in the face. And Kratos says, you call me out. And Kratos knocked him to the floor. Then Yuma gets back up. And then he decides to do a flurry of chops. Hits, smacks. And Mims is getting into it. He said, yeah, my boy's getting it. He's getting it. Until you see this shot in my face. And even the commentary team could not just let it go. And they laughed their asses off. They went, boom! He went dead to his face. And, oh, even the Velvet Sky herself had to just go, damn, that was stiff. They just started to laugh their ass off. Joe Gillen tried to be really professional, but she couldn't help laughing. And I know the way that Tim Storm sounded, he wanted to laugh his ass off, and he might have been laughing. He said, damn. That was the best part for me. Until Le Rebellion comes out and said the most stupidest line that I've ever heard. And they're saying, we came here, and this wasn't it. We came here from AAA, and we traveled around the world. We traveled to Japan. We traveled to Mexico. We traveled to Europe. And this is the part that got me. Where the hell is my damn Puerto Rican flag? I got to say this about that. Before you know what? I'm going to say everything else, then I'm going to say this. They started a fight. Yuma got his ass whooped. Kratos got attacked. And everybody else came out to try and stop it. Good. That means Rebellion and Stevens and Kratos are going to have their moment. But this guy, I'm sorry. I cannot let this go. And I have him in my face. I don't know who the guy's name is. I forgot. But I don't really care. Because who the fuck does he think he is? Saying, where the hell is my fucking Puerto Rican flag? He didn't say fucking, but you get my point. Where's my flag? Well, guess what, bitch? I'm part Puerto Rican. Understand. I'm black with Puerto Rican and Native American. There's a difference between Taino Indian and Native American Indian. There is a difference. But the point is, he asked for a Puerto Rican flag. Are you part of the United States? No. Are you an independent country? No. You are a fucking Commonwealth, you bitch. A fucking Commonwealth that had an option, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, roughly almost 5 times to do a vote either to become a state or try to fight to be an independent country. No. Your people 5 or 4 times. Every time when a vote was cast back in the 80s, early 2000s, and the 2010s, and nearly 16 or 17, they were given the option to at least try. They said nothing. They had the option to do one or the other. They chose the other. One was to fight to become a state, or to at least try to do something. The other one was to leave it as it is. They left it as it is because of this. It doesn't make a difference about the governors because remember, there's dozens of governors on the island. Dozens upon dozens of governors. Not one, dozens of governors in each region of the country. There are several governors in the country. But the point is, it was the people who made the choice not to try and do it. So him saying that bullshit, I'm not against being Puerto Rican. I am part Puerto Rican. There's nothing wrong with having pride in your blood and your heritage. But to actually be that stupid to say, NWO should be showing my flag when you're a damn Commonwealth of the United States and you have no damn flag, that flag in 1899 means nothing but bullshit. That flag is bullshit. It means nothing. It's not a national flag because they are not a nation. They are a commonwealth. And if anybody, just for anyone that you meet a Puerto Rican who is so proud of their blood and their damn flag, tell them, if they said, hey, where's my flag? I said, are you a country? To ask them that. If they said, what the hell are you talking about? I said, is that your national flag? I said, yeah. Are you a country? No. Are you part of the United States? Yeah. Are you a state? No. Then you're nothing but a commonwealth, a colony. You have nothing. Say it like that. That'll piss them off. Finally, we had, not finally, a few more things. The masked man had an interview. We still don't know who he is, and I don't want to know who he is until he takes the mask off. So if you guys know, don't tell me. But he does sound good. It's obvious that he might be a second-generation wrestler. The way he's acting, he sounds like a second-generation wrestler or a very well-known independent wrestler, but he's not known on NWA. And if you don't recognize him without the mask or you know his voice, that's the thing. I don't recognize his voice, and I don't know who he is. So I don't know if he's the second generation. I believe he is. That's the reason why he's not showing his face, because he wants to build up his own reputation before his identity is known, and they say, oh, this is his son. That's the way it looks. That's how I feel about it. But he's doing pretty well, building himself up, and next week we'll get some more from him, I believe. Now, finally, Melina versus Kylie Ray. Another women's match. And a good one. Wasn't bad. Melina can still go, and Kylie Ray is very well versed in wrestling. I enjoyed the match, particularly the holds that Kylie Ray was putting on Melina. Melina was being very rough with her, being very rude with her, messing with her, grabbing her hair, doing all the things like a Melina would. But Kylie Ray was the one who pulled it out in the end, which is actually a good thing because she needed that kind of win against a veteran who is a legend unofficially. Because she hasn't gotten any type of accolades like from, she's not in the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. She's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. She's well known as a legend in the business, but she doesn't have any accolades where she has been awarded a Hall of Fame. So you could say that she has that recognition, which does help Kylie Ray to a certain extent, whether she's in Impact Wrestling, WWE, or in AEW. She went up against Melina, and she beat her. Yes, it's not on a big stage, but it does help. Now, how do I feel about this? Seeing two women matches on NWA. Now, this is obvious. This is from Mickie James. I saw Chris Van Vlien's video on Mickie James when she's talking about trying to prove that we can make money. And it's true. Women wrestling can make money if you book it properly and put it in the right context. Was it good to see two matches on NWA? Once in a while, yes. There's nothing wrong with seeing two matches on NWA that covers women. But you must make sure you balance it out. This is what a lot of people don't get. Women's wrestling can make money as long as you keep it in a perspective of balancing it with men. This started with men. And I'm not being a sexist or racist or prejudiced or whatever else you want to think. But it started with men and expanded with women after that. And midget wrestling. That's how it was. You got men wrestling, Then you maybe about midget wrestling, maybe second, or women's wrestling. Kind of goes in between. I don't know which one started. Either midget wrestling started first or women's wrestling started next. I'm not sure which one. Either one in pro wrestling. But it doesn't really matter. There are three major types of wrestling. And the key of this entire situation is this. They must put it in a context that will make it balance. It's not about just making the most amount of money. This is about balancing it to make the best amount of money for all parties. Because there's going to be a lot of people not 100% caring about women's wrestling. And there's some that do and some that in between. So you have to make sure you give us enough men's content, enough women's content, and make sure that you balance it enough that sometimes you got more men, sometimes you got more women. Now they're going to have a pay-per-view for the women in August. And then they're going to do that next night. They're going to be doing the 70th anniversary pay-per-view. No, it's going to be NWA 73 because it's 73-year anniversary and that's their pay-per-view. And it makes sense. Having a woman's pay-per-view first, then having the men afterward, making sure you set it up properly to give both a shine. Because if you don't, this is just going to end just like what happened with Evolution, with WWE, where there was no good matches because of the writing and because of the wrestlers that look so bad due to the fact that they're barely ever used. That's just the truth. But I'm hoping this will work out this August. I'm hoping to work out. And that'll be right after my birthday. Shame it wasn't on my birthday. It would have been cool if it had been on my birthday. That would have been a nice gift. But it is what it is. And I hope you enjoyed this NWA episode 33, I believe. I don't think it's 32 or 34. I believe it's 33. Please give me a comment below and maybe a like or two if you're interested. And I should be doing my Dynamite review tonight. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace, baby.